the case against cisgender straight men as the root of bathroom safety concerns. In recent years, debates over bathroom access have intensified, with particular focus on the safety and comfort of women and LGBTQ+ individuals. A recurring theme in these discussions is the role of cisgender straight men, who are often identified as the primary source of fear and discomfort in shared spaces. This article explores the argument that cisgender straight men are disproportionately responsible for sexual violations in bathrooms, contributing to widespread distrust and calls for alternative arrangements from women, transgender, bisexual, and gay individuals. It also examines the provocative claim that cisgender men who assault LGBTQ+ individuals may be acting out repressed sexual identities. The fear factor: cisgender straight men in bathrooms. Bathroom safety is a pressing concern for many, particularly women and members of the LGBTQ+ community. Women have long reported feeling vulnerable in public restrooms due to the risk of sexual harassment or assault. Studies and anecdotal evidence consistently point to cisgender men as the primary perpetrators of such violations. For example, a 2015 study by the National Sexual Violence Resource Center found that the vast majority of sexual assault perpetrators in public spaces, including restrooms, were male, with cisgender men making up the overwhelming majority. This reality has fueled demands for gender-neutral or women-only bathrooms, as women seek spaces free from the threat of male violence. The fear is not unfounded. High-profile cases, such as the 2016 assault in a North Carolina restroom, highlight the risks women face when sharing facilities with men. These incidents reinforce the perception that cisgender straight men, as a group, pose a unique danger in these intimate settings. The LGBTQ+ perspective: seeking safety in women's spaces. Transgender, bisexual, and gay individuals often express similar concerns about sharing bathrooms with cisgender straight men. For many in the LGBTQ+ community, women's restrooms feel safer, not because of an inherent preference for female spaces, but because cisgender straight men are less likely to be present. Trans women, in particular, face heightened risks in men's restrooms, where they may be targeted for their gender identity. A 2013 survey by the National Coalition of Anti-Violence Programs found that 70% of transgender individuals reported experiencing harassment or assault in restrooms, with cisgender men cited as the primary aggressors. Gay and bisexual men also report feeling unsafe in men's restrooms, where homophobic violence from cisgender straight men is a documented risk. As a result, many LGBTQ+ individuals advocate for access to women's or gender-neutral bathrooms, not out of a desire to invade female spaces, but to avoid the threat posed by cisgender straight men. This dynamic underscores a broader issue. The behavior of cisgender straight men has created a ripple effect, alienating both women and LGBTQ+ individuals from shared spaces. Cisgender straight men is the common denominator. The argument that cisgender straight men are the root of the problem hinges on their disproportionate representation in sexual violence statistics. From workplace harassment to public restroom assaults, cisgender men are consistently identified as the primary perpetrators. This has led to a generalized fear of men in intimate settings, with women and LGBTQ+ individuals alike citing male behavior as the driving force behind their discomfort. Critics of this view argue that not all cisgender straight men are dangerous, and that blanket generalizations unfairly stereotype an entire group. However, proponents counter that the issue is not about individual character, but about patterns of behavior. The sheer volume of incidents involving cisgender men creates a reasonable basis for concern, they argue, and until these patterns change, distrust will persist. The closeted aggressor hypothesis. One controversial claim in this debate is that cisgender men who assault gay, bisexual, or transgender individuals may be acting out repressed homosexual or gender non-conforming desires. This theory suggests that some cisgender men, unable to reconcile their own identities, externalize their internal conflict through violence against openly LGBTQ+ individuals. While this idea is speculative and lacks definitive empirical support, it draws from psychological studies on internalized homophobia. For example, a 1996 study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that men with high levels of internalized homophobia were more likely to exhibit aggression toward openly gay individuals, potentially as a defense mechanism. The discourse surrounding bathroom safety is complex, particularly in light of recent theories suggesting that cisgender straight men may play a central role in the fears surrounding these spaces. Critics of this hypothesis raise valid points, arguing that it oversimplifies the multifaceted motivations behind violence, particularly by linking it to sexual identity. The conversation intensifies as some assert that conflating aggression and homosexuality heightens stigmas against LGBTQ+ communities. However, this line of thought resonates with many who note a troubling pattern wherein LGBTQ+ individuals, and particularly transgender folks, are disproportionately targeted by men who identify as straight. This intersection invites deeper contemplation about the underlying identity conflicts that may influence these aggressive behaviors. Moving forward, the question arises, how can we effectively address the root causes of violence and fear within bathroom debates? One solution may lie in expanding access to gender-neutral restrooms, thus creating welcoming environments for everyone. These safe spaces can serve as alternatives to traditional binary restrooms, allowing individuals to feel secure without the threat of harassment. Furthermore, stricter enforcement of harassment laws in public areas is crucial, as it sets a standard for acceptable behavior and holds aggressors accountable. Education campaigns focused on redefining masculinity are also essential. They can dismantle harmful norms like toxic masculinity, while encouraging men to take accountability for their actions. In the long run, addressing male violence demands a societal shift away from traditional notions of masculinity tied to dominance and aggression. This is a monumental task, yet essential in reducing the prevailing atmosphere of fear and mistrust linked to bathroom access. The notion that cisgender straight men significantly contribute to safety concerns in bathrooms is supported by evidence indicating that their actions often lead to sexual violations, which in turn drives women and LGBTQ+ populations to seek refuge in more secure spaces. While the speculation that aggressive male behavior may hint at underlying identity struggles is complex, it underscores the urgent need to scrutinize male actions and their affiliations with societal expectations. Ultimately, enhancing safety within bathrooms requires addressing the root causes that breed fear and violence. By investigating the behavioral patterns associated with cisgender straight men, society can move towards more effective solutions that prioritize safety and dignity for all individuals, irrespective of gender or orientation. This collective endeavor is not merely about policy changes, but about cultivating a culture that respects and empowers everyone to coexist peacefully in shared spaces. By Scott Young, aka Sinfamous Gamer.